One. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Melina, and we are talking tonight about selling and customer service. And customer service is probably it's probably tied as my favorite topic. I also love to talk about social media, which we have coming up soon. So we're going to start with selling. And the first thing that I wanted to share, because a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I hear people when they're thinking about joining Pink Zebra, one of the reasons they don't know if they can do it is they don't know if they're a salesperson. And so I want to just like address that right away. We're not salespeople. When I think salesperson, I think, and I hate to say this because we need car salespeople in the world. I'm going to mute y'all, or I'm going to mute Jennifer, because the camera or the recording is recording who's ever talking, and if there's any background noise, it flips to the other person. So for a second, people saw her empty chair, which kind of makes me think of the movie The Ring. like I just imagine her chair like spinning. I haven't watched horror movies in a really long time. But anyways, so when I think of salespeople, I really do, like, I think our minds a lot of times go to those car salespeople. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, but there was just such a negative connotation with them. And I actually buy like my cars, and I'll do this forever and ever till I'm, 95 years old and not allowed to drive anymore. I buy my cars at CarMax, which is, I believe, nationwide. So you guys have probably heard of it. And the thing I love about them is that, like, the price you see is the price you get. There's no haggling. There's no muss, no fuss. If you don't buy a car, like, they don't harass you. It's really great. And so I love that they're setting an example of how you can sell without being salesy. And so we have that opportunity as well. So some tips that I wanted to share for selling is number one, be knowledgeable. So product knowledge is super important. That's, when you're, sorry, Jason. She did this yesterday too. She really doesn't like it when I'm on camera and not paying her attention. It's ridiculous. So product knowledge. So one of like the best places to get product knowledge is in our back office, but also in our catalog. I often have people ask me how many scoops are in a jar of sprinkles or in a carton, or how tall is that accent shade? And you can find dimensions of our products, our warmers, all that in the catalog. And then all the other things you really need to know about, like Pink Zebra's standards and ingredients, you can find in back office. There's a really awesome PDF. If you haven't looked at it, I highly encourage that you do it. The one thing that I'll say, because people, I feel like not everybody, but some people are very, very particular about the types of products they're using and like what the ingredients are. And Pink Zebra does not give like the whole recipe because it's considered proprietary information. It could be copied, it could be duplicated, and so they don't release all of that. But what they do is share a lot of really good information that explains, that our products are safe, the different rules they follow, the criteria that our scents meet. And one of the things that I learned early on is that Pink Zebra looked at all 50 United States and the fragrance laws in those states, and they found that California was the most strict. And so they said, well, to cover all our bases, we will just follow California's standards. So then we know we're able to sell our products in all 50 states. I don't know much about Canada's rules, but I'm sure that they looked at all that before we started selling and building teams in that area as well. But they take this really serious. Like Pink Zebra, our team that runs our corporate office, product development and all of that, like they didn't just like on a whim say like, hey, let's start a direct sales company. They were already making fragrance products for other like major retailers. So they know what they're doing. And so I have a lot of confidence and I put a lot of trust in them because I know that they take this really seriously. So knowing your product knowledge, like they say knowledge is power. And I think knowledge gives you confidence, and that You know, if you've ever been asked a question that you don't know how to answer, it's a little nerve-wracking, like, you know, and I'll tell you, it's okay to tell someone when, like, hey, you know what, I'm not sure of the answer, but let me find that out for you. And then there's resources to find those things out. The next thing that I'll say, and like, this is a no-brainer, but you've got to use our products. I don't think there's anyone selling Pink Zebra that's not using Pink Zebra, but the more you can use, the more scents that you try, even if they're not necessarily your cup of tea, I think it's better overall, because people are going to want to know how things smell, and those may not be scents that you particularly care for. So I pretty much give everything a chance in my house. The more I'm involved in Pink Zebra, the less scents that I don't like. It's very strange. Like, they all just kind of start to grow on me. So I'm melting things here that I would just, you know, 8 years ago, I would never have imagined that I liked, but I gave it a chance because, you know, if it's a top seller, then I want to be able to tell my customers how it smells. The next thing that I'll share with you is to focus on the features and the benefits. And that really is where the product knowledge comes into play. Knowing all the different ways that you can use sprinkles and soaks, knowing all that sciencey, I don't know why I did air quotes, but knowing all the science type information behind our Super Clean products, that it's 70% isopropyl alcohol, like, that's serious. Like, that means, like, that's the highest I've ever seen on a disinfecting product. So that's awesome. Knowing that our Super Clean products are pH balanced to be as close to your skin as possible. So when you put that hand sanitizer on or wash your hands with that hand soap, your hands don't immediately feel dry. Like, that's a big deal. So being able to focus on those features and the benefits of those products, again, knowledge is power, and it really just gives you confidence, and you don't have to convince anyone. You're just telling them, you know, how this product is going to enhance their life, how it's going to help solve a problem in their life. And I think that's really the secret to being successful in selling, being able to just explain to people how it's going to just make their lives better. The next thing that you guys have probably heard before is the importance of building relationships. So in any business, any selling business, building the know, like, and trust factor is incredibly, like, it's vital. Did Jennifer go outside? Okay. She cracks me up. So building that know, like, and trust factor. And is that a leash or is that an extension cord? You're on mute. Oh, it looks like a leash. Okay. Oh, love puppies. So, you know, we're doing all of this virtually right now. So building that know, like, and trust factor can still be accomplished, but we're going to have to do it virtually. We're going to have to do it through video. I am really big on voice notes. So instead of typing a message to someone, I will voice note it to them so that they can hear my voice, so that they can hear, you know, either my excitement or enthusiasm, or just hear like warmness coming from me. One thing, this is not really a part of this topic, but just a little ninja tip I'll share. I try to sing people happy birthday on their birthday. So instead of posting something on their timeline, I will message them and I will sing them happy birthday. I'm not winning any Grammys, y'all, but people remember that. They really do. And some of those people are customers and some of them are not, and maybe they never will be, but I made somebody's day, and I think that's really cool. Oh, my sister just said I've never done that for her. All right, well, I'll put a note on my calendar. September 20th. I got you, boo. So that's just something unexpected. People are not expecting someone to sing to them. But yeah, my singing voice, that's a really hard song to sing. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is just the importance of using samples. I think our samples are a really awesome selling tool. We talked a little bit in our last training about, like John was talking about, you know, sending out a lot of samples. I have one here. This is our January Paisley's Pick Rejuvenate. And, you know, I don't think my samples are anything all that fancy. I've done them several different ways. I've used the pink bags that we can get from Pink Zebra. I like those. They're professional. They're branded. But I don't always remember to reorder them. So these I'll get 500 at a time from Amazon. I use a label maker. I get the labels from Amazon, and it's easy. I can make a bunch of them while I'm, sitting on the couch watching TV or just hanging out. And there's probably maybe a little less than a scoop in here. And I think you could even get away with giving people less. It's okay. Like, you're the boss. People don't know how much a sample should be. I've definitely had smaller sample bags before, and it just is what it is. They get what they get. I'm not trying to give them enough to necessarily, use in multiple warmers. The purpose is to be able to try it, to see how it melts, to see how it smells. And for if you're not at a place where you've got a large customer base yet, you're going to get to a point where you will, and you can make, there's about 40-ish scoops in a carton. And if you're giving everyone a scoop, then you've limited yourself to 40 samples. So it's okay to do half a scoop. There's nothing wrong with that. And your samples can look different than mine. There's really no right or wrong. It's just whatever your preference is. And this just seems to work really well for me. But the thing about sending samples or giving out samples is you've got to follow up. There's always the exception to the rule. The exception to the rule is I'm going to give out a sample. The person's going to go home, try it, love it, and call me, or place an order on my website for $7,000, and I'm going to go to Aruba. But I'll tell you that's the exception to the rule. Really, follow-up is important because people are busy. People are, we're all busy. So if you give me a sample at the grocery store, I'm going to put it in my purse, and I might forget about it. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, can I get your number so I can text you in a couple days just to see what you thought? And I know the thought of doing that might feel a little, I don't want to say strange, but like, it's a little scary, like talking to strangers. We're told our whole childhood not to talk to strangers, but I'm telling you, it's okay to. Well, unless they're creepy strangers, then don't do that. But just, your cashier at the grocery store, shout out to Lucinda, who gives out samples on the candle aisle. She's braver than me, but it's okay to do that. And if you need to create a giveaway in order to make the person feel like the pressure's off, because like if you said, I want to text you or call you, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I just like literally met you. I don't know you. But if you say, hey, I do a monthly drawing every month, or that's redundant. I do a drawing every month from my, from people who try samples. And you can even think of a better way to say it. My fragrance testers. So I'd love to get your cell phone number. I'll text you in a couple days to see what you think of the sample. And then I'll put you in my drawing. Just easy peasy. And you don't have to give away, a huge prize. It could be a jar. It could be a couple of samples. It could be samples in those branded Pink Zebra bags because they hold a little bit more. I mean, you don't have to give away the farm, but that's still a really, I think, in my opinion, an easy way to get the product out there, get the contact information when you're dealing with strangers. It's a little different when you're giving out samples on Facebook because you're communicating with those people through Messenger, so you have that way to follow up with them. But I've been guilty over the last 8 years just giving out samples and not getting any contact information. And then I'm like, well, I will never know if they love this scent because Ava's under the table. Jason's trying to coax her back into the living room. It's never a dull moment over here, y'all. I think Jennifer said hi to you. I've got her on mute. She doesn't know she's on mute. So yeah, so moving right along, the last two things that I'm going to talk about in terms of selling, I'm going to talk about upselling and suggestive selling. And so suggestive selling is, well, I guess they kind of, Jason, would you say they're similar a little bit? Upselling and suggestive selling. So we'll just talk about upselling because I can talk about that one most confidently. So that's, a customer telling you, hey, I want to get, this simmer pot that's $28 and these 2 jars of sprinkles. Well, that's $46 retail. We know that orders of $50 or more get free shipping. So that's an upselling opportunity. That's saying, hey, did you know if you add another jar, you can get, you'll get free shipping. They can either pay the $8 for shipping or they can pay the $9 for the jar. And at the end of the day, it's a $1 plus tax difference. So it's like, wouldn't you rather just have that jar of sprinkles? So when I'm doing my parties, I will share bundles that I've created, and they're all strategic. The pricing is strategic. In most cases, that bundle is at least $50 retail. Maybe I discounted a couple dollars. Sometimes I do that because I think the brain likes the number $49 versus over $51 or $52, something about that ending in a 9. That's why you see like a lot of Walmart prices end in a 7. It's all psychological for people. So if I have a bundle that we'll just say $55. Actually, that's a horrible example. We'll say it's 52 and I make it 49. They still get free shipping, but in their mind, they're like, ooh, it's only 49. It's all psychological. I'm not a psychology major, but it works. And then upselling would also be, a customer gets a wall hug. Maybe they get 2 wall hugs, but only 1 bottle of soaks. And it's saying, hey, what rooms are you thinking of using these wall hugs in? And they're like, oh, I want to put one in my, bedroom and one in my guest bathroom. You might want different scents in those warmers. Those are different spaces and they have different feels. So maybe you want something really clean for the bathroom and something more relaxing. And that's just saying, hey, was there another soak scent that you like? Maybe something more relaxing for the bedroom. And it's a yes or no question, but if you don't ask, you don't know. So that's what I'd say on that. Any questions before I move on to customer service? Are you guys all taking feverish notes? Like, you guys are so cute. I love you all so much. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about customer service, which is the topic that I could talk about all day long. It's my favorite. So, without getting on my my soapbox, I will tell you, I wholeheartedly believe that in Pink Zebra, or even in just any direct sales industry, we have a really cool opportunity to take care of customers in a way that Target, Walmart, all those places can't. Now, they collect a lot of data from their customers, and yeah, they send coupons and they send emails, but they have never asked me how I liked my purchase. I mean, I get surveys, but like, I'm not getting a thank you card in the mail. I'm not getting a text or a phone call, from Mr. Walmart or Mr. Target saying, hey, I really would love to know, like, what did you think of those fuzzy socks? Because I would tell them if they ask. But we have that opportunity. Yes, it's more work, but it's so worth it. Like, you guys, I just wish you could live in my head and my heart all day, because I have some of the most amazing customers. Like, they love me. I don't get it, but they do. And I know I work really hard to take really good care of them, and it pays me back tenfold. It really does. And as your customer bases start to grow, you will see it too. And some of you may already see it because you've been doing this a little bit longer. It's really cool. Like, it's not even a feeling that I could really describe for people. So I say all that to say, thanking our customers is important. So I love thank you cards. I always have thank you cards on hand. But I'm trying to work smarter and not as harder because I do have a larger customer base. And just some numbers, just so you can think about it. I have sold to, I know 2020 is almost over. I may sell to someone new before the end of the month, but if I don't, that's okay. I've sold to 167 people this year. That is crazy to me. One of them is John, and now he's on my team. So sorry, John, you won't be getting any Happy New Year customer mail from me, but you'll be getting something else in the mail. But sending thank you cards is great, but my hand cramps. So I've started to create things in Canva, and can you guys see this okay? I'll read it to you. I'm in a little box on my screen, so that's why it's just weird for me. So this just says, and here, before I tell you what it says, let me tell you what I did. So I created this in Canva. I'm gonna redo it a little because I actually took a like 4x6 template and I put it on there twice, and then I had it printed at Walmart on, this is a photo, and then I cut it with my paper cutter. But I just learned today that Walmart will print 4x4, and I don't have one to show you, but basically it's a little more than half of this card. And so I'll just let them do the cutting because work smart, not hard. But this just says, thank you for your order. I hope you fall in love with your new goodies. I appreciate your support of my small business. XOXO Melina. And then there is a little camera. And next to it, it says, snap a photo, share on social media, and tag me. So I'm trying to get my customers, especially the new ones, to do that, because when they tag me and they share a picture of their order, that is going to pique curiosity, pique people's interest, and you have no idea what doors that will open. So I do have customers that will tag me without even, being prompted, but I'm trying to be more intentional about asking them to, because that just, is a way to grow your customer base with very, very minimal effort. So also on this card at the bottom, I've got the Facebook icon and what my personal Facebook account name is. So if they want to find me and friend me, they can. I've got my Instagram handle, and then I also have it's called the username for my business page. So I used that little flag. That's actually, that icon is kind of outdated now, but that means it's a Facebook page. That's the icon for pages, but they just recently changed it. So once these run out, I will redesign them just a little. But yeah, just something simple that I'm sending. And if I want to write something on the back, I can, or if I want to, write a little post-it, I can. But a lot of the messaging that I want to share is already done for me. And I don't think, I used to be very conflicted about, oh, they should see my handwriting. Well, you know what? I'm going to personally address that envelope. So they're going to see my handwriting then. And if I do want to write a little, like, maybe I'm sending them a sample, like, can't wait to hear what you think of Rejuvenate, that kind of thing. So that's one of the things I have in terms of thank yous. The next customer service tip I have, and I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already know this, but you want to handle any issues professionally, and you want to handle them promptly. So we're going to encounter issues in our business where something is damaged or, heaven forbid, missing from a box. That it happens seldomly. Like, I literally can't tell you the last time I personally had an issue with an order that I received. Now I had a customer recently who had 2 jars busted in her order. So she sent me pictures, I put trouble tickets in, and it was taken care of. But that kind of stuff happens. And so, I apologize even when it's not my fault. I just take ownership, like, it's my problem to solve, to deal with, to correct for the customer. And then I just recommend just keeping them updated on what the process is. Like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and put a trouble ticket in. Now, up until recently, those were taking a couple weeks for them to really look at because they were so bogged down. But my trouble ticket that I put in for my last customer was resolved maybe 3 business days, but maybe even less. I really just can't remember off the top of my head. So they do work really hard to handle those quickly. They'll let you know if they need more information or, you know, a different picture. But yeah, so I just keep them up to date on the process. So you'll see when that replacement order goes through for the customer, and you'll see when it ships. So just let them know, like, hey, they got your replacement order placed. It should be shipping soon. I'll keep an eye out for tracking. So I recommend doing that. Another thing that I do that I feel is really good customer service is that I offer to place my orders for my customers. So I think I said, we may have talked about this in the last training, but I place probably 97, 98% of my customers' orders. And yes, it takes time and it can be a little cumbersome. And, you know, when there's a promotion or a deal or something exciting, it can be a little stressful for me, but it's totally worth it because I'm offering them a service. There's nothing worse, especially, and this has happened at parties before. I've been at a party before where when it's time to order, the consultant says, let me know if you need the party link. And I'm like, I gotta place my own order. Like, hello. I always tell people at my parties, let me know when you're ready for me to be the cash register. Like, I would never expect a customer to place their own order for a party. So I try to treat my online parties the same way I would treat my home parties. And so I offer to place that order. Now, some customers are just going to want to do it. And that's totally cool. But especially for some of our older customers that aren't as great with technology, it's really helpful when you offer to place it for them. And you just, you decide what payment options you have. I do Venmo, PayPal, Square, and occasionally I'll do Facebook Pay, but I don't really like it because I don't really think we're supposed to use it for business. I have one older customer that literally mails me a check when she wants something. And I know she's going to pay me, so I'm comfortable putting it on my card while I wait. But if you're not, you wait for the check. And that's just, that's just how it is. You have to be smart and protect your business. But yeah, I'm big on that. I learned that concept of placing orders for customers back in, I believe, 2015, and I've just kind of stuck with it. And yeah, it takes extra time, but the really awesome thing about it is you do have that upsell opportunity. So if somebody gives me an order and it's, close to free shipping, then I have that opportunity to let them know that, hey, you're just a few dollars away from free shipping. Can I get you another jar? Or would you like another bottle of soaps? Was there another scent that you liked? And then also it guarantees that they're getting everything they need. I've had customers try to order accent shades with no warmer before. And so then I say, hey, do you already have a simmering light warmer? No, I don't. Okay, well, these are sold separately. So your accent shade is your cover for your warmer. And sometimes they'll just say, oh, okay. And they'll tell me, a simmering light they want, or maybe they'll say, oh, I didn't realize I needed both. Let me go ahead and get this simmering light this time and I'll get my accent shade next time. And, figure out when they want to place that next order. Like maybe it's waiting for a payday, or they're keeping track of a budget, so maybe they need to wait next month. Find out when they're like, hey, when would you like me to reach out to you about that? I'm happy to do that, so you don't have to remember. And then you follow up with them and say, hey, are you ready for me to go ahead and get you that accent shade? Now we're going to talk about following up. Actually, we're not. We're going to talk about something else real quick. So I have a lot of visual aids that I just wanted to show you. And I don't 100% know that these tie into customer service, but I guess they kind of do. So the one thing that I would encourage you with your samples, and I guess I could have talked about all this then, but I'm talking about it now, is make that package as professional as possible. Now, for my samples, I started using a 6x10 bubble mailer. You don't have to do this. If this is going to cost me about $3 to send. That's what shipping is, because it's a first class package. It's going to be, it's probably about 2 ounces. But because of the size, that makes it a little more expensive. If you just want to send samples in a thank you card, that is totally okay. The one thing I'll tell you, because I've learned it the hard way, is the post office might squish your sample. It just might happen. So what I would encourage you to do is take it to the post office and ask them to hand stamp it. They'll put a stamp that says non-machinable on it, and it's not supposed to run through the machine like the other letters will. You should be able to get away. I know the Postal Service raised holiday rates. They should go back down, but I know every January they raise rates in general. So the last time I did something like this, it was 70 cents. It might be a little more, but that's, if $3 doesn't work for you, hopefully 70 cents does. Have I ever sent a package like this with just a 50-cent forever stamp? Yep. And it's made it there, but sometimes it's squished. In the summertime, they melt. It's just, it is what it is. But they still get to smell it. And you do really want to make it as professional as possible. So that's why I think those thank you cards are great. But yeah, I just started doing packages like this earlier this year. I invested in a thermal printer in October or November. And so I've got, a printed label. It's really nice. I've invested in stickers. I'm just telling you all the things that I've done, not to say you have to go do all of them, but I just wanted to share. Anything I'm doing, I'll absolutely share. And you pick and choose what you want to do. I'm just at a place where I can justify that expense because I know I'm always going to get it back. I've got stickers. I don't know where I got these. Maybe Amazon. Oh, can I side note for a second? Someone sent me stickers. Was that you, April? Okay, thank you. I was gonna message you and ask, and I forgot. So I got some really cute, like metallic, like silver metallic thank you stickers. And then I think I got these from Amazon too. So this says treat yourself. And this says you deserve this. So just little fun things. I like to use those because I call my mail Happy Mail, and I want to live up to that name. So with the samples I send, I again have a picture that I had printed at Walmart, and it says, "Get excited, your smell mail has arrived." Can't wait to hear what you think of your samples. Let me know if you have any questions. Chat soon, Melina. Again, it's got that snap a photo, share on social media, and tag me. And it's got a little graphic of ways to use sprinkles. It's got my name on Facebook, Instagram, and it's got my cell phone number, which I just put on the internet by showing it to y'all. Oh well, if I start getting numbers from weirdos, I'll just block them. Okay, I also wanted to show you guys my business cards. So I just got these recently from Vistaprint, and I struggled because my business card said manager, and I've been a senior manager now since 2017. So I've been using outdated cards for quite a while, but I'm cheap and I wasn't going to throw them away. I was going to use them until they ran out. And then of course I was conflicted because I'm like, I'm going to promote soon. So I don't want to get a title and then these cards be obsolete. So I fudged, and I just put Chief Sprinkle Diva on my cards. That will be my forever title. But I like these. They're very professional. I see a lot of people make their own cards, and that's totally cool. Like if you're comfortable designing your own, or you find a template you like on Vistaprint, great, go for it. But these are from the Pro Shop, and it's way cuter than anything I could have come up with. So I just went with it. I like to put those in sample packets. Just because that's a way to make them a little more professional with the card. I'll also put them in thank you cards that I'm sending maybe to a new customer. The other thing that I like to throw in my bubble mailers is like confetti. So it just makes it fun. Just one other thing I like to do. And I've had people post pictures of the package they got with the confetti, and it looks like a gift. So I really love that. The last thing that I wanted to show you, I actually got printed today. So before Christmas, I started sending Christmas cards to my customers that I knew, celebrated Christmas. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to run out of Christmas cards before I run out of people. So I'm like, I just needed to design something. So this is what I designed. Purple and yellow are my branding colors, or my brand colors. So I like to use those in everything. And this says, thank you for your support in 2020. 2020 was tough on so many levels, but I'm so grateful that I got to take care of your home fragrance needs. Cheers to all the fun and fragrance 2021 brings our way. Hugs, Melina. And then I put a little picture of myself on here so they could just see my face. And this is going in an envelope to all those other customers that didn't get the Christmas card from me. I'll do better next year, I'm sure. Or I'll try to do better next year. But this is like fun and sunshiny, and I'm gonna put a sample of Rejuvenate in there unless I just know that they don't like scents like that, and I'll put something else that I have. But I wanted as many people as possible to smell that scent. I haven't even melted it yet and I already love it. And again, this is like the message that I want to convey without having to write it. And this is gonna go to probably 140 people. So this in an envelope with a stamp, I'm hoping to get away with that 70-cent postage. My top 25 customers, I'm sending them a $5 coffee gift card, either to Dunkin' or Starbucks, depending on where they live. I have somebody in Boston and they've got Dunkin' all over the place. So that's what I'm going to send them. This is my first time doing that, but I just felt like, I think the more you give, the more you get. I truly believe that. And so I wanted to take care of them and thank them, in an extra special way. And so I can show you guys, well, I can't, actually I can show you. Let me pull up my customer spreadsheet. So I'm gonna I'm gonna block out the names just because this is going on the worldwide internet. I'm gonna block out names and street addresses. And then I will share my screen so that you guys can see. All right, let's do this. Share screen. Give me a thumbs up when you can see my screen, please, and thank you. Okay, cool. So I started using this spreadsheet, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we talk about social media and organization on Thursday. But I literally do this, I don't do it every time I get an order, but I update it, a couple times a month, and I will put, the date they ordered, and in a lot of cases, these are customers that were lowered on the list that I cut and pasted at the top. I changed the purchase date, and then you'll see I put numbers in here of how much they spent for the month. And so then, I can't go to the next tab because all the names are showing, but actually, yeah, I can because nothing else is showing. So I have a year-to-date total of how much they spent, and I copied and pasted those columns here. And the top 25 are in bold, and those will be the ones that get the gift card from me. So that was an easy peasy way to do that. We don't have an easy peasy way to do it in back office. We don't have a report like that, and we should send them an email to ideas and feedback to get that capability, because it would make my life so much easier. But yeah, so this column right here, it says Christmas thank you. And the X means that I did it, and the R means rejuvenate in this case. The, let's see, do we have any, most of them are ours. A few people I sent before Christmas, so I sent them berry vanilla, since they would have time to get it and sniff it before it went away. And then some of these were sent, I'm doing a January coupon, and they get a discount all month long. That's like something that I started doing maybe in 2017 or 2018 as just an idea to make sure that I had, I don't want to say decent sales, but sometimes, like right now, I find myself in a situation where I don't have as many parties on my calendar for January as I would like, but I don't want to miss out on sales opportunities. So it's a perfect month to offer a little coupon deal. So some of the people already got their Christmas card, they'll get their coupon separately, but some that I'm working on will get their postcard and their coupon together with a sample. So that's just what I wanted to show you guys, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in that organization training. I'll have a blank one of these that you can use if you want. It's totally up to you. But the great thing about this, there's a column with emails, and now I know who I might not have email addresses for. Like maybe I've placed their orders for them and I'm using my email address, and that's stupid. I need their email so that they can get contacted by Pink Zebra on my behalf. So that's my next project once I get through this New Year's Christmas postcard. It's not really Christmas anymore. It's a New Year's postcard. Okay, so I think I showed you, yeah, all my little visual aids. So I'm going to stop sharing. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is kind of meaty, but I think I can get through it pretty quickly, and then we'll just move on to Q&A and whatever ideas that you guys have about selling or customer service that you want to share. But customer follow-up it's everything. Like we talked about earlier, like Target, Walmart, all those places not following up with me the way we can follow up with our customers. So it really starts with a thank you. That's why, sending a thank you card, sending a doodad like this with a sample, thanking them for their order is so important. I find myself getting a little behind on that. So someone told me that they do it once a month. And I'm like, why don't I just do it once a month too? So at the beginning of the month, the first week of the month, send out your thank you cards for the previous month. I used to think that they needed to get it like right around the time they got their order. And that was stressing me out so much. And I may, when I decide to hire like a helper or like hoodwink Jason into helping, maybe I'll do it on a different interval, but I just, I just don't need to stress myself out. This is supposed to be fun. So I'm going to make the first week of the month, that's mail time. I will send out samples throughout the month though, as people request them for parties and such. That I don't want to get behind on. Like that truly takes priority for me because they get the samples in their hands, they sniff them. If they're at a party, then they're in that perfect sales environment, that atmosphere we want them to be in. And that's your opportunity to get some sales volume. So thank you cards, thank you cards, thank you cards. Start with the thank you. The next follow-up, so you can do it a couple different ways. So you really have to just see what works best for your style, your personality, and yeah, that. You can follow up. Most people do 2 + 2 + 2. So that's 2 weeks. No, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. The 2 days part is in theory supposed to be the thank you card. So that makes things a little difficult, but really the 2-day could just be making sure that you thank them for the order. So if they gave you their order, obviously say thank you. If they ordered online themselves, you really should probably thank them within 24 hours, but 48 hours max. Make sure they're hearing from you one way or the other. That 2-week follow-up is to make sure that they've received their order. In most cases, they should have received it by then. And then that 2-month follow-up is the, hey, are you running low on anything follow-up? The other formula that you could follow is 1 + 1 + 3. So that's 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. I don't love it as much. I feel like it's maybe a little too spaced out, because I just feel like there's a lot of time between that 1 month and that 3 months. Maybe not, but it just feels that way to me. But that's, same kind of concept. That 1 week would probably be your goodies are on the way follow up. 1 month is, have you had a chance to open and use everything? Just want to make sure you're happy. And then the 3 months is, hey, are you running low on anything? And then, has anyone here watched the customer service video that's in back office that I did over the summer? Lucinda. Okay. So in that video, I talked about a third possible follow-up option, and that's connecting with your customers every single month by using the Paisley's Pick as your, I don't want to say excuse, but really your reason to follow up. So who here is in Club Pink? Everyone but John. That's okay. I'm not going to Club Pink shame you. So what I love about Club Pink is obviously I get to smell the scent before it becomes available. Like, that was a no-brainer for me to sign up. I'm like, I get to smell it first? Yeah, heck yeah. So I like it for that, but then I also like that I can promote it before it's available. So I like to share my carton, a picture of my carton. Maybe sometimes it's me sniffing it, or it's just a picture of the actual carton. I share that in my customer group when I get it. And that's when I say, who wants a sample? So people can specifically say at that time, like, yes, I want to smell it. And then I also use it for thank yous. So when I'm sending out a thank you card, when I'm sending out these people didn't necessarily ask for a sample of Rejuvenate, but that's what they're going to get with their end of year thank you card. So I love Paisley's Pick, and that's a great reason to follow up with people. So John had to hop off for his jar sale. He's doing a fun jar sale with some of the jars he has on hand. So I'll make sure he tells me how it went, and I'll report back to y'all. So you've got the opportunity to, number one, obviously post about the scent in your group or on your business page, but you could also use it as a reason to reach out to customers. So when you're checking in with them, hey, I just wanted to let you know our scent for January is Rejuvenate. I know you love spa scents, or I know you love woodsy scents or earthy scents, and I'd love to see if you'd be interested in trying a sample of it. And then if you sent them a sample, either they asked for it or you just sent it because you were sending them a thank you, then you've got the opportunity to follow up and say, hey, I just wanted to check and make sure that that sample of Rejuvenate made it to you okay. What did you think? So that's like such an easy reason to follow up. And I'm not saying you've got to send the same customer a Paisley's Pick sample every single month, but you could if you wanted to, especially if you're doing it, if you're going the 70-cent route. Now, if you're sending these samples after a couple, months and they're not ordering anything, then stop sending them samples. And then when they say, hey, I'd love to get a sample, awesome, I can get you one with your next order. You're the boss. You're the boss. So that's my my 3 kind of follow-up formulas that you can follow. I really quickly want to talk about a couple apps you can use or systems. So my follow-up system now currently is that spreadsheet I showed you guys. So there's a column C is a thank you column. That's where I check off that I sent them a thank you card. I see the last date they ordered, so I can just know like when I need to reach out to them. I am trying to touch these customers every single month, and I'm actually going to put in another column that that definitely shows me that I at least talked to them that month, and then I'll clear it out and we'll start all over again. But yeah, this spreadsheet's been super, super helpful to me because I'm I'm not missing anyone. Like literally, if an order goes through my back office or through my website, it's here on the spreadsheet. I've even started to track, like if someone buys, like if I do like a fun little, mystery box or punch carton type thing, I'm putting that in here too. So, because sometimes people order that way, and I don't want to miss that they ordered something, because obviously I want to follow up for those kinds of things too. So the other apps that I wanted to tell you about. So there is an actual follow-up app. I don't know the cost. I've never tried it, but I've heard good things about it. And it's called FitFu, FIITFU. And that stands for Fortune is in the follow-up. So I've never tried it, but it's a follow-up system that you can use. What I like to do, what I started out doing when I realized that I needed to be following up, and this was like 2015 or 16, when I was like, hey, I should probably be following up with my customers. I don't know what I was doing before, but I started using Evernote, which is, you can get a free account with Evernote, and basically think of it as a digital notebook. So you've got this notebook, and I called mine customers, and you can have digital pages in your notebook, and I named them after the customer. And I just would put screenshots of their orders or screenshots of wish list, or type up a list of scents they liked. And I'd set a reminder to follow up with them. The thing that I didn't love about it is I didn't always know why I was following up. So that got a little like confusing sometimes. But what I did love about it is that I could go to the search feature and I could type in a scent like, so for example, Stonewashed Denim was temporarily available during our Toys for Tots promotion. I could have went to Evernote and typed what Stonewashed Denim in, and every customer that ever purchased it or wished for it or loved it would have populated in a search result, and I could have reached out to them. I should have done that. I didn't talk to anybody about those Toys for Tots scents, y'all. Shame on me. But that was a really cool feature that I figured out. I also, after Evernote, I transitioned to something called Trello, and I really liked Trello, but it was a little too much work for me. This spreadsheet, oddly enough, doesn't feel like as much work as Trello did, because with Trello, I was still uploading those pictures of orders so that I could see like what they ordered. And with Trello, it was like a digital board, and I could have all these different columns that said all these different things. I did them by month. And then I could have all these cards below it, and those were the customers that had ordered, and I had to move people. I was moving people. It's, I'm moving people in the spreadsheet, but it's just different. So I can get you guys like screenshots if you want to see what Evernote and Trello look like. But, you just have to figure out what's going to work best for you. I know people who use a notebook and they love it. So if you're a paper person, like I'm seeing all of Jen's paper, like maybe a spiral notebook is what will work for you. What I'll tell you and what I've heard is the best follow-up system for you is the one you're going to use. So whatever that is, it's okay if it's not like mine. I will always share with you guys what I'm using, but I am in no way like forcing my methods on you. You really have to do what works for you. So I've seen people use binders. A binder would be great for me if I wanted to do the paper route, because I'm going to want my customers either in alphabetical order, or I'm going to want to be able to put them in order of, like, I want on top, like maybe the most recent order. So then when someone towards the back orders, I could move their page to the front. That's how I would do that. Or I'd have divider tabs, and I'd have it, I'd do the 2 + 2 + 2 or something like that. But the spreadsheet seems to be working best for me. It doesn't cost me anything, so I'm A-okay with that. So that's basically what I got for selling and customer service. So I encourage you to hop off mute if you'd like. What questions do you guys have?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Well, I have a bunch of questions, but I'm not gonna, I can always talk to you later.
Sure.
Okay. When you say customer group, I just want to make sure you mean your VIP, right?
Yeah. So I'm not calling it a VIP group anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not. Okay.
Yeah. And that's just because, well, let me think of how to explain this. It's a very simple explanation, but I'm not finding the words. So they're like, as the group grows, like I have no problem with it getting bigger as my customer base grows. And I felt like at some point there might be 300 people in there. And then is it really a VIP group or is it just a group? So I started referring to it as my customer community. I think people are thinking more of Facebook groups as communities anyways. I'm in sticker groups and groups for podcasts that I listen to. And I truly think of those as communities. Like those are like people who have a common interest. And so it just so happens that my group is for people who have a common interest in purchasing Pink Zebra from me. So yeah, I've just thought about it a little bit differently. So VIP group and customer group, same thing. It's whatever you want to call it, your preference.
And the bubble mailers, did you order those from Amazon?
These I did not. I got them from, I can't remember. So I have some friends who have a company and they ordered them for me. And so I got a really stinking great deal. But I have got bubble mailers off of Amazon before and you can find decent deals.
Okay.
But yeah, like, you know, I just felt like I was sending so much mail, and it was, I mean, it was fine to send them in the envelopes, the thank you cards, or even like what they call a number 10 envelope. It was fine, but I was like, you know what? Like, I want people to be really loud and impressed when they get a package from me. So I'm hearing some noise in the background.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm watching John.
Oh, well, I'm going to mute you while you watch him.
How do you want? I only see me and Melina. How do you have everybody on there?
What are you talking
about? April said she's watching John.
No, that was Lucinda. She's watching John on his, he's doing a jar sale live on his.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So, yeah, so I just, you know, I was like, I want these to be more professional. I can justify the expense. I knew this year with what all was going on that I wasn't going to be getting as much mileage, credit. So I was like, well, I can make my postal expense a little larger and that'll help me at tax time. So that was what I was kind of thinking. So that's why I bought the thermal printer. I mean, you don't have to do any of that, but I do think it's important to have bubble mailers, especially like if you're going to send bash boxes. You know, I've filled bash boxes for people at my house. You would need something bigger than this. You'd need something more like probably like 7 by 10 or maybe even 8.5 by 11.
8.5 by 11.
I think.
Okay.
So yeah, what other questions?
I still have more, but does anybody else? I don't want to take other people's time also. How many samples do you send usually?
For Facebook parties, I send 3.
Okay. And just for regular, you're just sending out samples?
Like with a thank you card, I'd send 1.
Okay.
Unless someone specifically said, hey, I really want to smell this and this. For a host who's doing a party,
right?
Even if it's an online party and I send them a catalog, I tend to go a little crazy with samples, because I mean, I'm putting it in like a manila envelope, so I know it's already going to cost me like $2. So I'm like, what's 6 or 10 samples? Like if I have it, I can send it. I'm happy to do that. And in a normal world, I know that they might be showing that catalog to other people. In our current environment, I don't know that that's happening, but the thought was, well, maybe they're taking it to their office, or they're sharing it with the kid or the parents at soccer practice or whatever. So if there's 10 samples in there, it's okay because people are smelling it. I know Lucinda has a question. Can you unmute? Okay, she said give her 1 minute. So Jen, do you want to ask another question?
Yeah. When you do your drawings, you do a drawing every month? Or how would I? No, you don't? Okay. If I wanted to do a drawing every month with my VIP for right now, how would you recommend I go about that? How do I let them know? And
so what is your goal with the drawing?
Probably just to get more people, involved, interacting.
Yeah.
That maybe it's like an incentive to come on, and then by them coming on to my VIP page, then they're seeing anything that I'm posting.
Right.
So it's just kind of getting them on.
Yeah. So you could, so there's a couple different ways. So one thing I would do is with your online parties, I would recommend, maybe at the end as the party's kind of winding down and closing, I'd post the link to your group and encourage people to join and let them know that you do a monthly drawing. So that'll help get more people in there. And then one thing that you can do, or at least I think you can still do, is in your group, there's settings, and you can actually look and see who your top contributors are.
Oh.
So if you can still do that, then you can either award the top person, or you can pick someone randomly who was a top contributor, because some people are just going to like and comment just for the sake of it, and you really want it as much as possible to be natural. You want people to want to be engaged.
Right.
So maybe don't tell them how you're coming up with the winner. Just say you're picking a monthly winner based on group participation.
Okay.
And then you can kind of do it however you want.
Okay. Great.
Lucinda, are you good?
Yeah, so I was trying to watch John, and I'm watching you, and I knew that his back talking was interfering, so I put my little earbud in, got him in my ear, got you on the computer. So I'm kind of like listening to two.
Oh my gosh.
I have a couple questions, and one is shipping.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know the price range is like up really, really high right now, but okay, John, I gotta turn you down a little bit. Oh, I had him up full blast. So, but I had to go, and I had a package going to Arizona today, and I had a package going to Virginia, and let me tell you, it was over $30 some for 2 packages. And I'm like, okay, so when I did my Square card, I did a flat rate of $8.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just not enough. What do I need to do? Because I don't have that digital scale.
Yeah. I use a kitchen scale, actually.
I don't have one of those either.
Well, you could get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there like a certain price point per poundage at the USPS?
Yeah, so that I'm not an expert on. I won't be able to for sure answer for you.
Okay.
What I would say is you might just need to figure out the postage before you tell them what the total would be. So like there are some things that I know, like for me to ship a simmer pot, it's probably like $8 or $9 to ship that. So
yeah.
So I know that, but like if you're shipping it, there's a lot of factors that go into it. The size of the box, like a larger box, even if it's light, the way like FedEx and UPS and USPS look at it is That's real estate. You're
The
taking up
size.
space on a truck or a bus or a
Yeah.
Well, I had it in a
plane.
box. I had everything in a box, packed down, bubble wrapped, because it was simmering pots and jars.
Mhm.
And they made me switch out the box. I said, why can't I use this box? And it was a pink zebra box. I tore off all the old information, covered it all up and whatnot. Why can I not use this box? It fits. Oh no, we have to put it in this box. But then because the box was bigger, they made me tear up my pink zebra box and put it in as filling. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that might just be your post office because I've never had anyone tell me that I can't use a pink zebra box.
No offense. I wasn't quite sure. And the whole reason I had to ship was because I had that 25% off sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered everything in my back office. So that was my next question. Can you order, if you had that sale and you ordered in your back office, can you change that shipping from your address to somebody else's?
You can.
Okay.
So what I would do is whether it's going to end up being enough to count as a party or not, I'd probably put it under a party, because I know with a party that I can say, hey, I only want to pay like consultant pricing. And you can still put the direct info for the customer in. So next time you want to do that, and you might even, we might tackle this topic before you decide to do a sale, but I can definitely show you how to do that.
Okay.
You could technically place a consultant order that automatically comes up at our pricing and change the address. But where it gets crazy or a little complicated is like, what if you want to place a consultant order to go to someone else and you need a consultant order for yourself? If
Right.
you change the address, it's going to change. Like if that order hasn't shipped yet, it just messes things up. So,
Right.
so I'd recommend like just opening a party, entering the orders there, and then I can walk you through how to set it up to be at your consultant price.
Okay. And then I just have a couple other things.
Yeah.
I have several post offices around me, but when you were saying about the samples and the little envelopes and the bubble wrap paper, ours is 75 cents for a non-machinable stamp.
Okay, so maybe the price may have already went up then.
But if you purchase the non-machinable stamps in advance, like you already have them at home, what I did is I ordered one of those little press and stamps. I took a copy picture of what the post office puts down. I copied and pasted it to my stamper that I wanted made. And so now I don't have to go to the post office to get a non-machinable stamp. And that was a really good way. And it was only $10, but it saved me in gas from running around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was my only other thing, I think. Yeah.
Sweet.
I've got notes everywhere. So.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Melina,
Yeah.
can you do me a favor and just take a picture of the two cards that you showed? The one, and then if you can just message me, or if you're going to put it on this.
I'll post them in the group so everybody.
Okay, great. Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
April, any questions? Any comments? No?
You don't want to talk. You're still
Really?
recording.
Because it's everything that you cover all the bases always. So.
Well, thank you. You're too sweet. I'll send you $20 for.
Oh, sweet.
Wait,
Not really.
no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't have $20. No, I do.
Well, I think you're amazing. This was so knowledgeable.
Well, thank
I
you.
took lots of notes. I have a couple pages here.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like I don't think I really talked about anything that you haven't heard me share before April, but I was telling Jason, I said, sometimes it's hearing it a second or third or 33rd time before it like clicks. And that's the same way for me too. Like I'll watch a training and I won't walk away with maybe anything. And then I'll watch it again and I'm like, writing notes because I heard them that time. So a lot of the things that I share are it doesn't change. Like what I share with customer service, unless there's some breaking like app that does amazing things that I don't know about, like it's not going to change. I'm always going to talk about thank you cards. I'm always going to talk about customer follow-up, and they don't change, but sometimes you hear things that you didn't hear before. We have
I
someone joining, but I don't know who's joining.
I greatly appreciate this. I really do, because it's always good to hear it again, and I haven't been doing it for so long yet. And these are all awesome ideas.
I told Lucinda before we started that I like to come in because sometimes I learn things that I didn't learn before. And I learned a few things about party styles yesterday being in the group. So, even though you couldn't see my face yesterday, I was learning yesterday. So, I'm always going to come if I can, just because there might be something I can take away from it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we hopped on, like, I have to give Jen the credit because she was like, hey, can we hop on a Zoom? Actually, I don't even remember, it might've been last Tuesday. And I was like, well, I can't tonight, but I can tomorrow. And then we were talking, I was like, we should do this like next week. And so I'm glad that this all happened. And the great thing about this is this content, this training will be here forever and ever and ever. I'm gonna, once I hop off here, the recording's going to download to my laptop. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to share it in the group, and we're always going to have it as a resource. Because again, not much is going to change. The way the tips I shared for selling, not going to change. And I told Jason this morning, I said, it's weird for me to talk about selling because I just don't feel like, we're not salespeople. So it's like, what tips do I have? And I guess my tips are just like, be a decent human, just care about people, just get to know people and build those relationships and just focus on others. It's amazing what can happen when you don't make it about yourself. When you just make it about taking care of other people, solving problems, making their lives easier. So yeah.
Yep.
So I think, do you have another question?
Just one last question.
Yeah.
Okay. So when the new catalog comes out, obviously the 31st of next month, and we're going to have a whole new line of fragrances, like, we're going to get new scents. Do you always send out samples at that time, or what do you normally do for that?
So that's a good question. So if one of my customers requests certain samples, I'll absolutely send them. Sometimes people ask what things smell like, and I tell them, and that's enough for them to know.
Right.
I feel like the longer that a customer is with me, really the less samples they necessarily need, because if I can say, oh, orange slices smells like an orange, It smells just like an orange slice. Like they know, and some of these scents that we get will be returning. So they are scents that people have already smelled. So the great thing about that is I'm thinking like, okay, who liked these before? And sometimes like, it's funny, I'll see a scent come back and I'm like, a name will pop in my head. I'll immediately know like the first person that I have to tell. So yeah, so I'll offer samples, but like the minute the new catalog comes out, I won't have any of those scents yet. I'll have the testers because of the virtual rally, but I won't have like jars or cartons to immediately be able to make samples. So it's going to be baby steps for me. I might pick a few that I really like and order those, and then those be what I, offer samples of first. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you do what works best for you. Now with catalogs, I have people who are already wanting a catalog when it comes out. So I will order a couple packs of those. I have some old school people that have to flip through the pages. So I know I'll be sending them a catalog, and my philosophy with a catalog is if I'm already sending them a catalog, I'm throwing some samples in there. Maybe the current Paisley's pick or the Paisley's pick that's available them, when I know they're going to get their catalog, and maybe I throw a few other things in that are new. So that's usually
how soon after the catalog comes out are you going to do your launch?
That really depends. I usually try to do something the same weekend that the catalog comes out, even if I don't have a lot of things to show. I usually have either the paper catalog that I can kind of show and tell, or we have a PDF version that I can go live and screen share. So yeah, so considering that we're still going to just be doing things virtually pretty much at that point, it's only a month from now, so
right.
I don't know how much is really going to change in a month, but why wait? I remember what was it, when we had reunion, I think that that first night we had a VIP shopping experience, and I'm pretty sure I was either posting, or I may have even done a quick live with my customers to tell them hey, this is what it is, here's what's available. A lot of them were watching the broadcast, but I was also typing or sharing some things as well. So yeah, I'd like to say that later that evening of the 30th after rally, I'll probably do something in my group. But if not, then definitely the next day. Because it's why wait? If people are ready for new things or some of their returning favorites, why wait till February to sell that? Sure. And it's a good opportunity for people when they see what's new, then you can go, well, why don't we get some friends together on Facebook so we can, get some of these goodies for you for free or half price. So it's a good time to book parties too.
Do you know when the catalogs will be available in the back office after? Is it after the reunion?
The rally, yeah. So it's usually midnight.
Okay.
So technically it's January 31st. But if for some reason we can order earlier, they'll let us know. I haven't heard anything. I'm hosting a hometown rally here at my house. It's going to be really small. Last numbers I saw were 2 people coming. So there's probably only going to be 5 or 6 of us when it's all said and done, but that's fine. But I haven't heard much from a host perspective. Usually they give us information, but I feel that'll come probably in the next couple weeks. I'll know more. And they're usually pretty good about announcing dates. So if we don't have it in the January 1st newsletter, we'll definitely have it by the 15th, but I'd be really surprised if on January 1st, we didn't get a sense of timing for things. They're usually pretty good about that. So
I could be wrong, but weren't last January, weren't we allowed to order at 5 p.m.? Because I remember being on my way home from Pittsburgh.
Was that when my cat died and I was in Greensboro, North Carolina?
I believe so, yes.
I don't remember a whole lot about that day.
Yes.
That weekend, but maybe
I kind of remember being on my way home from Pittsburgh and trying to message the customers, yes, you can order, and trying to show them the stuff that they had asked about on my way home.
Maybe it did go live.
I want to say it was 5.
Yeah. So what I'm expecting for this rally, just like the one that we did in September, is they're going to want us all doing it at the same time because we're going to be watching like whatever's going on at home office. So here, like Eastern time zone, or we're all in the Eastern time zone, aren't we? Yeah. So like 12 to 4 is kind of what it was for us last time. So,
Right.
I mean, it's not crazy to think that by 5 o'clock things could be live. Anything's possible. But yeah, if I hear anything before it's posted in ZebraNet or in a newsletter, I'll definitely let you guys know. And I'll let you know as soon as I see it posted those places too, because it's just good to be able to plan ahead.
Tom said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I went and did my registration, and I've looked at it a few times just to see locations. Like a lot of it was PA, and even just from last week to this week, a lot of them are canceled.
Yeah, so I think because of like I think Pennsylvania specifically has some pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Strict.
Like,
thank you, Jason. Yeah, some strict guidelines. So yeah, I know Canada as well. Like there are certain areas in Canada. I saw a post in the Pink Sapphire group because that you have to be a Pink Sapphire to host your own hometown rally. And they basically said that if it turned out that, you know, your area had to go under, you know, strict guidelines due to COVID, that all those people that were supposed to come to, you know, your location would just be transferred to like virtual. So I don't know if some of those people will still be able to get together in even like smaller groups, but I personally, you know, I'm not going to get like on a tangent of the pandemic, but I personally don't have any issue having a few people here at my house. So I'm good with that. I had people over for the hometown reunion in August, and we were not a super spreader event. I am happy to say that. But it also wasn't like a 50-person wedding like I've heard. So yeah, so I mean, we weren't like making out, kissing. We were distanced, not on purpose really, but like spread out throughout my living room. But yeah, it was all good.
I had one more question. The FITTU that you mentioned, the follow-up system.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what the cost of that is?
I have no idea. I've just heard people talk about it, and it just seems really neat, and it seems like the perfect thing for us. But I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, I don't know anything about the cost. I am really, it says get 7 days free in your first month for only $9.95. The regular rate is $19.95. So I don't know if $20 a month necessarily makes sense. I'll go on and do some research and see what it actually does. I mean, I think it's probably similar to like maybe the Evernote that I was using, but maybe it's a little more intelligent, and it's gonna alert you like, hey, it's time to follow up with Susie who ordered this, this, and this. But I'm just rocking my spreadsheet because like it just for me doesn't make sense to have a paid service like that. There's other things that I would pay for, like, you know, I'll pay the postage. I'm actually looking at doing my own emails. What I wish we had that we don't have is a way to send a newsletter to our customers. I think eventually Pink Zebra will get that for us. I know they transitioned our website from, you know, like a third-party host, and now it's on our own like private, maybe server is the right word. I'm not technological, but with that, I think there's more capabilities we're going to be able to have. And what I'd love to see, and maybe it's a Zebra Reach thing. For anyone who doesn't know, Zebra Reach is like a customer contact tool. So you can log into it through your replicated website, not back office. You go to your website, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see Zebra Reach. From there, you can send emails. I believe we now have what's the word? I'm not trying to say access, the ability to
Right.
send text. I haven't done it. I need to probably test it.
I haven't
But
done that either.
what I'd love in there for them to just like, if there's a way, create like a shell of a newsletter that we can, add our picture to, maybe add a personal message, and maybe that newsletter says what the Paisley's pick is for the month. Like it's something I could send out within the first couple days of the month. Like, hey, it's January. Welcome to January. Happy New Year. Our scent this month is Rejuvenate. You can get it in, jars of sprinkles and bottles of soaks, and maybe have hyperlinks that take them to my website, to those products. If there's any promotions going on, like if they want to, like sometimes we know those things at the beginning of the month, like if there's a party promotion that we're doing, or a host promotion, that host can win things. Like I'd love to see all those things that I could very quickly add my picture, add a little personal note, and then know that it's going to go to all those people. So since we don't have that right now, I have decided I'm going to look into my own email thing. I've used like MailChimp in the past, but I'm going to check out something called MailerLite, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I mean, I love that emails go out on our behalf from Pink Zebra, but I'd also like to have control to send more things, or like my January coupon. There might be people in my back office that maybe haven't ordered in a year or two, so they're not getting that coupon in the mail from me because I'm not going back that far, but I have their email. Like I want to be able to send those people a little note and let them know, because I've had people come back who haven't ordered in a while. I did something very similar, like to one of these, and it literally said like, hey, it's been a while since you've ordered. I'd love the opportunity to take care of your fragrance needs. Here's a sample of blah, 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 and contact me for a discount on your next order. And I had people take advantage of that. And those were people who, it maybe had been a year since they ordered. And it was either I didn't follow up, like I should have, or I did and I just didn't hear from them. So anyways, so I'm going to stop recording now. So, hey.
Well, also doing your own newsletter is more personal. Like it's less like a company lump that everybody got lumped into.
For sure. Yeah, because out here, I'm gonna stop recording, and then we can talk about this off the recording. So, hey, if you watched this, thanks for watching this, y'all. Okay, bye.